Hello and welcome. My name is Brian Smith. I am a writer at Auburn Daily, and I specialize in recruiting. Today's show is going to be a brief overview of why Julian Lewis is an important recruit. I'll eventually show film of him and do different things, but I just want to give a mental picture of why this young man is an important football player for the Auburn Tigers. He's a class of 2025 player from Carrollton, Georgia. It's just a little under 2 hours from Auburn's campus, so it's pretty convenient. It's on Highway 20 in Western Georgia. Here's the overview. Just over 6 foot, 185 pounds. He's a young man that's been trained from a very young age on not only mechanics, but breaking down plays. Let me give you an example of why that's important. The most difficult part for anybody like me that's a recruiting analyst of breaking down a player is when you're at quarterback and you say, Brian, do you think this young man can play at college and even possibly the professional level? My answer is always the same. I have no idea, because what we evaluate is nothing that is relevant with those two levels, because there's not a lot of post-snap reads that you make at the high school level. There's just not. Juju, as we call him, that's his nickname, does some of that, and here's the prime example. There will be a player on an in-breaking route, whether it's an over route, whether it's a dig, a slant, post, whatever, and he's going to come across the face or behind multiple defensive players, the corner, the safety, the linebacker, whatever it may be. He will look at that player, get the defensive player to move over. That's mental. And then he's going to throw behind him while his guy knows that he's going to keep running, and they just basically switch spots. He will fool defenders. This is something that I've seen him do several times, not only in huddle, but I've seen him live 4 times, Elite 11 twice, Under Armour twice. He's a guy that gets it. He can make back shoulder throws. He can throw the ball with the proper trajectory. He understands the game way advanced for somebody his age. And here's the funny part. He should be a class of 26 player, but he's trying to skip not 1, not 2, but 3 semesters of high school. He was talking about it after the Elite 11 on Sunday, and get it all in so he can enroll early this next January, wherever he goes to school, and begin his tutelage at the collegiate level. He's one of the rare kids that can pull this off. I think it's kind of crazy in a way, and he admitted he doesn't have much time because he's working on so many classes, but he's capable of doing it. He's smart. Again, back shoulder throw, slant, hitch, whatever it is, the ball is just in great position more often than not. It's ironic, he often throws better in a game with defenders coming at him as opposed to a player that's, in a camp setting, whatever, where you're not going to get hit. But even then, it's still impressive because his throwing motion is very quick, consistent, over the top. It's very fluid. It's very natural. It's aesthetically pleasing. It's what you would expect from many National Football League players. But he's like 16 years old. It's crazy. Now, as for Julian's recruitment, take it for whatever it's worth, just from circling the wagons and talking to contacts. This is going to be a very interesting recruitment from this point forward. First off, he's committed to Southern Cal. Technically, doesn't mean a lot. He has been committed since last year. He fits their offense. He's mobile, not a pure runner, but he's mobile. He can escape the first guy, go pick up a few yards, he'll slide. He's very, very difficult to hit in a flush situation. He doesn't get tagged very often. He's also a young man that will make the proper reads and adjustments, check down, etc. So again, he's got every offer there is known to man. Kirby Smart recruited him as hard as you can imagine, but they just got Ryan Montgomery recently, and they got Jaden Rashada to commit to them, the transfer from Arizona State. So they're probably out of the Juju sweepstakes. Alabama and Auburn, where do they stand? Alabama doesn't have a quarterback yet, and while they certainly came after Juju, I don't believe they're a major player right now for whatever reason. They have a great relationship with Auburn. Colorado's kind of the wild card with Deion Sanders, and then Southern Cal. He'll take his visits this summer. But when does Julian not only make a decision, but turn off the phone to anybody else? That's when I say decision, my definition is probably different than what a recruiter or a parent is, especially in the NIL era. Juju can make his own mind up. He's his own person, and by all means, he should. That being stated, it's hard in today's era to say, well, so-and-so committed to this school, it's over, because the NIL money involved. Auburn certainly has it. So does SC. Those are the leading candidates to land this young man. I do not know if there is a timeline at this point. I know Julian would have liked to have gotten it done this summer, But what if he goes through his visits and it doesn't happen? It is what it is. Big time recruiting often means gritting your teeth through signing day. Pure roll of the dice. Everybody wants to know it's done deal. I don't care if he commits to Auburn tomorrow or defunks anybody else besides Southern Cal tomorrow. That doesn't mean a whole lot. You can't do anything until December in terms of signing a letter of intent. So with that, Julian Lewis could end up signing with anybody still, technically, and some other school could come into the mix. You got to remember, coaching changes will happen towards the end of this next season. Guys get fired, guys get promotions. That'll all impact it as well. But right now, as it stands in late April on the 29th, Auburn and Southern Cal are the leaders in the clubhouse. I even spoke to somebody that covers Southern Cal. He said, based on what he's been told by the people inside USC's football building, Auburn is their main consideration on who they're competing against. So if you're an Auburn fan, that's good news. Again, Julian Lewis is an elite player. He's a prospect that could change Auburn's prospectus at the quarterback position in a lot of ways. Really talented young man. I'm curious to see where he ends up. So I wrote about him just recently at auburndaily.com. We'll be writing about him between now and signing day numerous times. Really looking forward to going and seeing him play this fall as well. Brian Smith for auburndaily.com. Everybody have a good one.